Welcome back, everyone. I am cozy mystery author Courtney Flagg, and we are writing again today. It is November 18th at 5:37 a.m. I woke up, got breakfast. I have my cup of tea right here, and going over what I need to work on. So from Saturday, this is what I had kind of brainstormed of the scene, and this second half right here, I didn't actually get to writing. So now I'm going to do that. But before I do that, I'm going to try to do some setting inspiration, if you will. So I'm going to look up different diners for inspiration of how I want the feel of that to take place. So for my diner, this is kind of what my vibe is, right? So we're gonna do checkered flooring, the benches with the stools with the countertop, bright colors, very 1950s vibe. And I think the reason why I need to do this is going back to my book reviews on my books that I have out. And one of the biggest, I feel like, feedback is I'm not detailed enough. And like with descriptions and all that. So I think what I need to do is moving forward is go get inspiration and actually list out what all the attributes are for that location. So what does it smell like? What can you hear? So all the senses for each setting. So I need to do that. I'm starting with the diner because that's going to be my next scene, but I need to go back and do it for the apartment building itself, as well as each room that my main characters could go in the apartment, and wherever there might be other scene points. So she'll go to like the newspaper office. Right now, I don't know if I'm gonna have that much detailed in that scene, because right now I think I just said that she went there. But maybe I want to add more, so make sure I have that kind of listed out. And I think this will just help. And then when I move on to the next story, when these scenes or these locations happen again, like the Full Moon Diner is going to be a staple in all of my books for the series. I already have it all listed out. I know exactly the vibe, and it'll just help the flow of writing better. So that is what I've kind of learning is I need to do ahead of time. It'll just really help with, I think, the writing, because that's probably my number one complaint is I don't have enough description and people can't picture it and stuff like that, which, I mean, that's fair. I'm very like, let's keep the story moving. Who really cares? But when you're a reader, you want to immerse yourself in that world. And if you can't see the world, you can't be in the world. So that is what I got to say about that. And I'm liking the vibe. I'm feeling it. And it's kind of sparking something, which is great, because once you get this spark, everything just kind of flows. And so I'm excited to start writing this scene. So I have enough of an idea of how the diner is set up. I could always add to it later, but I want to kind of get some words on the page right now. And right now I'm sitting at 3,519. And so what I need to do is write this scene, and I'm going to start my, I'm going to do dictation because I'm behind, right? I got like 12 days until it's the end of the month. So let's see. And the goal was to finish what was it, 3 of these stories, and I'm not even done with 1. Luckily next week is the week of Thanksgiving, and I'm able to work from home all week. So hopefully I'll be able to pop in and out of this writing office to get words on the page. But without further ado, I'm gonna grab my headset and start talking. A place that I could get breakfast that was local. I wanted to get the vibe of the town and how everything was. Found a place called the Full Moon Diner that had lots of 5-star reviews. So it was relatively close to my apartment and to the flower shop, so it was perfect stopping point. Here is my status. So now I'm at 4,797. So basically, I need to be writing 2,000 a day in order to hit the word count of 30,000. Yikes. So 2,000 a day isn't that hard for someone who does it all the time. For me, I don't always do that many words, and that's just because I don't really have the time to do it, but I'm gonna try. So kind of a backtracking, I need to calculate how many minutes it will take in order to get 2,000 words. So since the start of the 12th, I now have, 2 spots I did not track how long it took me to write, but now I kind of am able to average what my word count is, so then I could take that to figure out how long it will take me to write 2,000 words. So I'm going to kind of do a little math and we'll see. Okay, this is my average word. So I am able to roughly do 58 words a minute in combination of typing as well as dictation. So that's a good average. And so now that I have that, what we at? 25,203 divided by 58. So 434 minutes divided by 60. 7 hours. Yikes. So I kind of need to think about what is different about this story compared to what I've done in the past. Right now, it is definitely going slower, as it's going to take me 7 hours to finish the 3 stories. But it is what it is in order to hit that 30,000 mark. What am I going to do? So it is almost 6:30. It's 6:26 right now in the morning. So I have roughly 30 minutes to do something before I need to start taking tucks out and making my lunch for work and all that stuff. But what am I going to do? I think I'm going to go back to how I was doing my scenes when I don't know if my plotting book is here, where I did the grid. So I had the grid, and kind of the different blocks that you needed to include in the scene. So I think I'm going to actually try to do that because I think I was able to get more words in the allotted time than when I'm just kind of doing bullet points. So I'm going to try to do that method, a few Pomodoro kind of cycles to see if that helps with getting more words. The thing with that is it takes more prep work. So I think that is kind of the biggest thing when learning to write is how much prep work do you need to do in order to make the actual writing easier? Because some people, right, they'll just write and then that's fine, versus others do a lot of the prepping, the plotting, all that stuff. And then they're able to do draft. And then there's people that do kind of the both. So right now I'm kind of doing, I'm doing a little bit of plotting and then I'll do the writing. A little plotting and then writing. And I think that's slowing me down. And I think I just need to be more thorough on, like, let's say the next 3 chapters, really map it out, have a clear picture, image, know exactly what the room looks like or the place, the setting, what the people are wearing, how they're feeling, all that stuff. I'm going to try to do that for at least, let's say, 3 chapters or whatnot for this story and see if that helps or if it's too much work and I'm not getting the return on investment, if you will. So that's the game plan. I'm going to kind of create a plan for myself of how I want to do that and look on reference of how I did that in the past, right? Sometimes you got to look back at what you did that was working to figure out how to move forward. So that is kind of where I am because I'm kind of stuck. But that's the progress of being a writer, right? You're always learning something. It is in the afternoon, just got home from work and I put on some sweatpants to get all comfy and cozy because it is raining outside right now. And it's giving me all these chilly vibes. I think I might go make either some tea or some hot cocoa and just kind of get all cozy because I need to do some writing, but also I need to do a workout, and I haven't worked out in 4 weeks, I think 3 to 4 weeks by now. So I need to get that back and rolling, but I'm taking a look at what I have here for my personal, I guess, planning that I have. So basically I just got work, dinner, workout, and then my evening routine, which is just like relaxing and stuff. But then on my work plan, on this one here, which I think I'm going to change my layout for my work planner, because I like it, but I don't know. We're still playing around in my planner for how I want this, but basically my goal was to draft 2,000 words. I need to edit this video that I'm filming now and track my sales because I got some Facebook ads running. I'm curious to know how they're doing, and let's just say I dropped from $20 a day budget to $10, and significantly I'm getting less clicks and less push through or like click through rate, I guess, to purchasing my books. So that's kind of interesting. I'm still playing around with it. More to come. Once I figure out how to actually run Facebook ads, I'll let you guys all know what I'm doing and how well it's been going. But I've noticed that just by decreasing my ad spend, things are moving in the opposite direction that I want them to. And then I also have just my task manager for tracking how many task blocks I am doing. And I know I already did like 30 minutes of writing today on my draft, so I got that. But yeah, first things first, what do I want to do? I don't quite know. I wanted to share what I've kind of been working on in terms of scene and sequels, make sequences, which make acts, and kind of figuring out what goes where in this. So this is where I kind of did was a 6 sequence instead of an 8 sequence, which is typical in like screenwriter for like 2-hour movies. However, I think it might make more sense to split it into 8 sequences because then it's more even, but I don't think it really matters that much. But I kind of want to see how to break up this book, and I think it will kind of motivate me a little bit more because I'm like, oh, I only have to write 833 words a chapter, which means I'm able to do 1 chapter in 20 minutes. And that kind of definitely pushes the motivation. And so just kind of showing this breakdown of what I'm thinking for like 10,000 words, right? 4 acts. So 2,500 words per act, and then breaking it up into sequences, which is a screenwriter kind of thing, how they separate scenes into sequences. So this is kind of what I have. So chapter 1, chapter 2, and 3 is in sequence 2. Chapter 3 is chapter 4. Sequence 4 is 5 through 6. Sequence 5 is 7. Sequence 8 and 9. And then sequence 7 is 10. And sequence 8 is chapter 11 and my epilogue. So essentially 12 chapters. And then I also found on like a blog or whatnot that scenes could be roughly 1,200 to 1,500 words and sequels 300 to 800. And that pretty much would fit in terms of my, it's a little high for my chapter count, but it kind of gives me an idea. And then also how many, like if in a 100-page book, which my book pages is not going to be 100, it's going to be more like 40 or something like that, since these are really short. But I think this is what I'm going to try to target is 20 scene sequels, so 14 scenes and 6 sequels. Some things I've been reading is that you do alternate scene, sequel, but then others is like you don't have to have every scene have a sequel. You could have scene and scene. I'm still learning, and I'm going to try to play around with breaking it up this way and see if it's easier to tackle. It is 6:45. I'm kind of wrapping up what I've been working on, which was taking all of my outlining information and putting everything on my colored note cards. So finally got to that, and I just did the major beats of the story, and I'm excited to show you what it looks like. Here is my plot wall. It's pretty exciting, and what I have is essentially it's like the hero's journey circle, right? So we go around, but we're actually kind of doing it in reverse because down here, right, is the, how do they say it? Like the crazy world, right? Which is act 2 and 3. And then we go back to the steady state of act 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And looking at the colors, right? So pink is like part of the romance arc. Blue is just the major plot arc. And then we have green, which is the male's point of view, character arc, and purple is the female. So this visually, I could see where I need to add more, like in Act 3, I probably need to do a few more pink. Same with Act 4, especially since I know there's going to be an epilogue, so I might put something up here. And I try to order them in how the story actually flows. But this is basically just a rough draft, and then what I'm going to do is actually make scene cards, which will help for when I'm doing dictation, because then I can actually look over them as I'm speaking. So that's next on my list. So what I've learned today about my scene and sequel is what I'm going to be doing in this book here. So this is actually a sticker book for your small sticker sheets. And what I have here is in note cards, which these are for my mystery when I use them. And so what I need to do is actually take out all the stuff that is not related to romance, which is essentially everything besides like the Act 1, 2, and 3 cards, and then take my notes again, as well as what I have on my board, and going to take this information, which is about the scene and sequel, and start actually putting down the information on the note cards. So what I have are actually two types of note cards. I don't know where, let me go grab them. So I have the two types. So I have the clout, or the regular 3x5 index cards, right? Has lines, blank. What I'm going to use, I think these for are like Act 4, Act 1, that, and then putting the, I guess, like the beats, like the headers of what would happen. And then from there, like the sequences, this is a good example. So doing a sequence, right? So this is commit to finding who's responsible for the crime is sequence 4, but it'll be for my romance. So I'll have to make these, but I'm going to use them in the regular because I could keep them and use them over and over. But then we have these cards, which are cloud cards. And what's really cool about them is you could use a friction pen. So this is one of those erasable pens. And you could take a screenshot of them with their app. This is by Rocketbook. And then it will essentially take it and put it in digital format of a photo, or you could convert it to text. And so what I'm going to do is then from here, I could take a picture of it, put it up on Scrivener, so then on my index card, the cork board, I could actually have it already written out, so I don't have to do double the amount of work of like handwriting and then doing it on typing it out. So this will be like one easy step, and I think this will hopefully help. And we will try it for this story, and if it doesn't work, then I don't have to do it for that. But I'm not going to actually start at the beginning because I don't want to kind of do extra work. So I'm just going to start for where I am, which is, I believe I just started, I'm in Act 2. So I'm getting close to the midpoint. So I think I might just fast forward a little bit and just start from the midpoint on and see how that goes. So I got everything written for the sequences, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. I got this stuff on the back as well, so I could go ahead and put them in, and I'm going to leave a blank page in between so I could put my scene and sequel, just because this is so short. I'm just only going to leave one, but obviously if your story is longer, you could leave more buffer in between to hit all of your scenes that you will be writing. So I'm excited to see how this goes. I'm feeling really motivated, and so I guess it's working. All right. And got a lot of extra in here, so that's okay. So for right now, since I'm skipping the start, so I'm just starting from the midpoint, I'm just going to actually just put these sheets in here just so they're there. And I could always readjust if need be. But I think that is going to be it for today. I hope everything is going well on your writing front. And until my next video, bye.